Welcome to Spoop Squad, the podcast that watches horror films that go flop in the night. I'm Jared.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nathan.
Whoop.
Okay, we got a new thing, I guess, that we're doing.
I was excited for Nathan to be with us.
Yeah, spoop your
Well,
life.
You know, you're the one that missed last episode, so
Yeah, you
we're
did.
just happy to have you back,
I
Nick.
can't still be happy to have Nathan with us.
Yeah.
You can be.
I'm happy you're
but
here too,
I
Jared.
could be pooping
Nobody's
again.
happy I'm here. That's true. I mean,
What are you talking
Nathan
about?
poops all the time.
I do.
All right, tonight we watched Night Teeth on Netflix. This movie is from 2021. It is rated a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. That's kind of high for us.
Yes.
We're usually like 5 and below, but as long as it's under 60%, we're good. Nick, you looked for the budget. Did you find the budget?
Sure did.
What
It
is the budget?
said 21.7 million. Sorry.
$21.7 million to make this movie. It has some big names in it.
It does.
Who are they?
It has some small names too.
Has a bunch of small
Some
names.
medium names.
What was his name? Alfie Allen?
Alfie
Yeah,
Allen.
Alfie Allen, who plays Reek on Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, correct.
Yeah.
And then there is
Megan Fox
Megan Fox.
for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, and you got Debbie Ryan
Yes,
of Disney fame.
of Disney fame for sure.
You have the dude that played Bjorn Ironsides in Vikings.
Oh yeah, that guy.
There was.
He wasn't in it for very long though.
But he
Alexander
was actually
Ludwig.
really good.
Yeah.
He was a pretty cool little. He wasn't in very long.
Yeah, his character was pretty interesting.
Another guy, Brian Batt, who played Salvatore Romano in Mad Men. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I did spot him and I IMDb'd it. And yeah, he was in
Yeah.
this.
Nice.
I just didn't know what he was in. We have
I mean, we don't have to go through the
you
whole
spotted a
cast and
guy
crew,
you
guys.
don't
we
know
have
who
Lucy
is.
Fry.
Who was the first DP?
Double penetration.
Yeah, who was the first double penetration? No, okay. Let's get into the synopsis before we get completely off the rails.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. It's not the best synopsis because it's lying to you about a few things, but a college student moonlighting as a chauffeur picks up two mysterious women for a night of party hopping across LA. But when he uncovers their bloodthirsty intentions and their dangerous, shadowy underworld, he must fight to stay alive. Which he was not already moonlighting as a chauffeur. He really had to like pull some strings and to kind of get that done, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
just
I
wanted to
wouldn't
agree.
say the synopsis is really lying to you. It's stretching the truth a little bit, maybe, but not
Yeah.
really lying to you.
It's misleading.
Well, you're a lot more forgiving than me, Jared. I'm saying it's fucking lying.
Okay, well then you say it. That's fine.
I sure will.
All right, let's get into one good thing. Do you both have a one good thing to mention about this movie?
Okay, I have one good thing.
All right, what is it?
I like that you asked that as if nobody had one.
Yeah, no, 'cause,
My-
it was a struggle.
Okay, I'm gonna have to just go with the opening, that whole opening sequence where it was the car and they had the cool like
Like the graphics,
the
and
graphics
stuff,
and
yeah.
shit on it. That was really cool, and that's probably where the majority of the budget for this movie went.
Yeah,
I just thought that was really cool.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's all I have to say about it. It was just cool.
Well, you did say at the beginning of the movie that it did seem like it was just a car commercial.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a really cool car commercial, like a Super Bowl ad car commercial,
Yeah.
like it would be for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's what you implied whenever
Yeah.
you said that. All right, Nick, what about you? What's your one good thing?
I really liked the first stop that they make after our chauffeur picks up the girls and they go to the house and all of the roses in the yard are glowing red. I was pretty cool.
That was really cool because it kind of symbolized the little gems they used to like get into places.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the intention, but sure. I just thought it was really cool. Sure, it could be. I don't know.
I don't know, just stood out to me.
Yeah.
Jared, what was your one good thing?
My one good thing was actually the cinematography. So the cinematography was actually really good in this movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
You think they
'Cause
used a red camera?
I don't know. And I don't really care.
Oh, okay.
But they had some interesting shots that you're not going to get from, just a typical movie. And yeah, I thought that it was shot really well.
Agreed.
I don't disagree with your one thing, Jared. Not that we do that, but I just wanted you to know I also don't this time.
Well, thanks, Nick. I appreciate
Here
it.
for you.
He just quietly disagrees with you all the other times.
Yeah, just doesn't say anything about it. All right, Nathan, let's go ahead and get into the kill breakdown.
Here is the 19th kill breakdown.
Well, how many do we have in total?
Technically, I only have 11 things down because, like most movies we watch, there is a scene where just a bunch of people die.
Just a bunch of people die all at once.
So,
And it's multiple times, right?
there's a. Wow, God.
Yes, it is multiple times.
It is
is
multiple,
like
times.
multiple
At
times.
least like 2 or 3 times.
There's the
Yeah.
Night Watch is the first one, and then when they go to see Bjorn Ironside and then his crew. So those are the 2 that I can think of. That
This
there was
is
just-
my job.
I'm just trying to help you out.
No, I've got both of those down already. I can't remember another time though. Okay, but number 1, Maria gets pulled from a window and killed, and then we weren't sure if she was dead or not, and then Victor was eating her body later.
Well, she didn't get pulled out of the window. The whole fucking door was gone.
Okay, the whole fucking door. Kill
And we
number
did
2.
get her bloody sneakers up on the power line.
Yeah, but that could just be some gang shit.
No, I choose to believe Victor was like, and thought it was like really funny to do that after he got away with this chick.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's probably pretty funny. Number 2, Max get fed on until he dies by Zoe. And then number 3, Daniel also gets fed on until he dies. But this time it was
Blair.
from Blair. Thank you. I forgot her name.
I didn't.
Number 4, I just put Martin. We don't really know. We
don't know much about Martin.
never. Well, I don't even think we saw Martin.
Yeah, we saw Martin.
Oh, okay.
His ear.
Yeah, we saw his ear.
Technically, that's Martin.
Number 5, so this would be 5 and 6, I guess. But 2 vampire bosses, Eva and Grace, get killed.
Yeah.
We don't
Played
really see it.
by Megan Fox. And who was the other?
Lucy Fry.
No.
No,
No, that
was
was
Lucy Fry.
Zoe, yeah.
It was who?
Zoe was Lucy Fry, so
Yeah.
I don't know this other chick.
Sweeney. What? I don't know.
Todd?
Yeah, Sweeney
Yeah,
Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
All right.
The
Next-
musical.
The
What's
next one.
the fucking other boss?
Yeah, the next
Idiot.
one is Geo gets shot by Jay. And then there are 3 Night Legion hunters dead. And then there was a vampire in a club that gets stabbed by Jay. And then a bunch of vampires and Night Legion dudes just kind of fight each other and die.
Yeah, just
Um,
throwaway characters.
Yeah, self-starting car crashes through windows and sunlight, killed Zoe. And then Jay shoulder tackles Victor into the sunlight. Not a lot of super fun kills in this.
Not super fun, no.
I think you're forgetting one. Benny dies.
Benny does die.
Benny does die.
Oh no. Technically, well,
No, technically he doesn't.
I guess he would have to die.
You have to
in
die to
order.
come back as a vampire.
Yeah.
No, but he put his hand in the sunlight. Remember at the end of the movie, he puts his hand in the sunlight and it doesn't burn him.
His brother very clearly was like, "Do not forget where you came from."
Yeah.
and then no, he's a vampire.
But is he a daywalker though? That's what Nathan is getting.
Yeah,
at.
I'm saying that he could be a daywalker. Like he could have transitioned.
That maybe I'm gonna be honest. I didn't understand when they had him stick his hand in the light. I didn't really get that at all.
It didn't burn him. Ta-da!
That was kind of strange.
It's Benny.
I don't know. Maybe it's he hasn't fully turned yet. I don't know, because in Let the Right One In didn't.
So he hasn't
didn't
hit
take him some
vampire
time?
puberty.
Yeah, and Let the Right One In,
Yeah.
it took him some time. Remember, there was the chick in the hospital bed that burst into flames. She had been around for a little while after she'd been bit. So I don't know. I'm trying to help the movie out here.
I don't know. It was a little confusing, for sure. But yeah, I guess Benny would have to die in order to become the undead. So
Or maybe he just stays alive.
Well, I think even technically Blade is still undead too, right? Like he is a vampire. He just also has none of their weaknesses. He only has their strengths. I don't fucking know, man. Let's just keep going because we
I
can
don't
talk
know.
about this
I
forever.
don't want to
We
talk
will
about
never
it.
know.
We could question this.
I don't
all
want to
night.
talk about it.
All right, I mean, this is really bringing us into ridiculous moments anyway. So, what are some of the most ridiculous moments of this movie?
The very fucking first one is the fact that, was it Jay? Jay is like, hey, I'm about to fucking start or be a part of a vampire war with humans, and I know they're going to come look for me, but what I'm going to do is let my half-brother drive my vehicle at the job they know I work.
You don't know he's his half brother. Could be a full
He
brother.
said he was half.
He said it was
Oh, he
half
did.
brother.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But I was just sitting there thinking, like, dude, what a fucking dick move. Like, if you are worried that when this war starts, they might come after your family because they're definitely going to come after you, you just let him take your car that they know you work at and drive it around? I was like, as far as a brother goes, we'd have some words. I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, to be fair, he was telling Benny, like, no, not happening. And then Benny kind of, like, guilt trips him into doing it almost.
and that's where you have to be strong and say, this is for your own good.
But it's only a half-brother.
He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll only lose half of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that close.
I don't know. He says that he was the closest thing that he had to a father, so...
And
Which
then
is
he
weird
just
'cause
left
it's
him.
his half brother.
Mm-hmm. But only male, like, older male figure that you have in the house.
What about Abuela?
Bro, she was pretty fucking
I said
awesome.
male.
You see her swing
figure.
that bat? Okay, can we talk about how, like, they don't stake the vampires in the hearts? They stab them with, like, knives, like special knives into the hearts, and I'm assuming they're silver.
It doesn't even have to be in the heart, though.
No, they can be hurt by getting stabbed somewhere else. Because remember, Blair gets stabbed in the side,
Yeah.
and then she just, like, heals up and she's fine.
I assumed that had to be silver because my man Victor took a like 45 round through the fucking forehead and was just good, didn't even bat an eye.
What?
So it had to be that knife was silver. Because
Okay,
it did a lot
yeah.
of damage to her. And I get maybe she's not as old as Victor, and so maybe he's a lot stronger, but
We don't know if that works that way in this
I'm-
universe.
I'm just saying maybe that was their way, but they didn't explain it to us, which is why I'm saying that it had to be that the knife was silver, the bullet was not, which again, why the fuck is Jay, who is a vampire hunter, packing bullets that are not silver?
Well, but remember,
That's a good point.
they shot Gio to death.
This movie has some holes in it.
It does.
So does Victor.
Just like Victor's forehead.
So does
Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of explain it away by, it seems like it was Blair that was doing the opening exposition that was like, oh, yeah, you know the stories, but you've got it wrong, or you know,
Yeah.
you don't know the full truth or something like that.
They said you got almost everything wrong that you've
Yeah.
heard of us or something. I forgot exactly what it was.
Yeah, but they never really explain
It
the reality of it.
it reminded me of how they kind of did that in Interview with the Vampire. It just was done a little better in that.
Yeah.
How they're like, oh, crucifixes. No, I actually like them. You know, it was sort of their take on that. You know, we got everything wrong. but
Yeah.
It just wasn't done that well.
Speaking of Interview with the Vampire, though, I was going to lose my shit if Christian Slater was in this movie.
Because this movie also took place in L.A.,
Yeah, it did.
which they made a point to show us in multiple scenes of
yeah.
driving.
Yeah, they were like, hey,
Oh,
guys.
we got like a full 5-minute montage of driving through LA.
But, like, multiple times. Like, if they cut out all of the, like, worthless driving scenes, this movie would have been half the runtime.
It would have been at least an hour and a half. Maybe not half the runtime, but
Yeah.
because this movie is pretty long.
It was long.
It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I know that we stopped it like right around halfway and we were like
Yeah.
at 53 minutes.
Yep.
So almost 2 hours on the runtime on this one, which is ridiculous in itself. This movie did not need to be that long.
Did not need to be that long.
It did not. So you guys, all of our greatest marksmen fighting all the dark creatures of the night, the what was it, the Night Watch?
Yeah, the Night Legion.
Okay. Night
Night
Legion,
Legion,
that's
yeah.
right.
Night
What do-
Watch is Game
what
of
do you-
Thrones.
What do you That's true. They would have done a much better job. But so, first of all, these guys are the most inaccurate assholes I think I've ever seen.
I think only stormtroopers miss more.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair because they actually did get one hit, which I
Yes.
wanted to talk about because every single time, so there's a scene, right, where they're in a bar and the night, we just discussed it,
Legion?
the Night Legion, thank you, shows up, and they start firing off shots indiscriminately at our, stars. And they go and they jump into their Cadillac that they've removed the brand from, I assume because they did not pay. And every single crossbow bolt that hits that car does not exist. It hits the
It
car
just skips
and
right
it's
off
gone.
of it.
But then later in the movie, our girl Zoe takes a shot and they have like a gigantic Mandingo-sized fucking crossbow bolt sticking out of her. And I was like,
Yeah.
they could have at least made them really tiny so that when the shitty CGI wasn't leaving crossbows stuck into
Right.
the Cadillac, either that or it was just bulletproof. I mean, who knows what Jay had going on?
I mean, maybe.
He's fighting vampires. Like maybe you want a bulletproof
He's got he's got high profile clients.
that too, like vampires.
Yeah.
But no, it was really funny to me that they didn't even think like, hey, you could probably pretty cheaply make a fake crossbow bolt to stick onto a caddy that, could be removed and leave no mark. But they're like, nah, fuck it, throw some CGI on there. And then they don't even try to make it a small one when Zoe gets clipped. They're like, no, this thing's fucking huge.
Yeah.
That really got to me a little bit because I was like, the production of the movie was pretty good in most places. That was like, y'all really fucked this one up.
Well, speaking of shitty CGI, there is that one part where he's driving the caddy. He's like in reverse. It was actually right after that. He's in reverse, and then he tries to do like I don't even remember what it's called, but he like tries to like slam on the brakes and turn, and you can tell that it's CGI and that
Yeah.
they just took this little like car and the CGI and then they made it like stop.
Just turn 90 degrees.
Yeah, it just turned 90 degrees, and they just put some tire marks on to be like,
Yeah.
look what he did.
We did it.
Yeah, I actually looked away during that part. So when y'all both said that, I looked back like, what? And it was over. So
You didn't
Yeah.
miss much. I'm glad that you brought up the bolts though, because let's talk about these for a minute. They are,
They got like some sort of glowing head.
yeah, they're like
yeah, I think they were
on fire of
or
some
like-
sort, but
Are they
like they're
supposed to have
magical
UV?
bolts.
Well, and here's the thing: is I feel like they tried to world build in this, right? Like very clearly, because the Night Legion chick like hands Jay this thing, and she's like, "If you survive the night, call me." So like, almost maybe were they supposed to be like enchanted with the power of the sun, which would have been cool. Although Zoe should have burst into flames, but I don't know. Maybe that's why, unless they hit their target, they're just the sun, and so they go away. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. They didn't explain it, but like in like Blade and shit like that, they explain things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can go,
In
oh,
most
cool.
vampire movies, you get some kind of explanation.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
they never said the word vampire.
They didn't.
No, they did not.
once. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
So we don't actually know that they're vampires. The movie is called Night Teeth, so they're night teethers. They're night biters.
Night
What,
biters.
what were they called in The Strain? Did y'all watch that?
No, I didn't watch this.
Oh, you don't need to.
Let's not plug shows.
You
Well,
can-
that was
you
the
can-
opposite of a plug for it.
That's true. I did say you don't need to watch it.
So one thing that I do like about the movie is that whenever we first get Benny pulling up to pick up Blair and Zoe, Blair makes it a point that she basically tells Benny, "Hey, open the door for me." And it's like, "Oh no, he's got to invite him into the car."
Yeah, I caught that. I'm going to be honest, man. I thought she was just like, dude, do your fucking job. I really didn't even think about that.
But then after that, like they could just get in and out of the car. That was the only time he opened the doors for he.
Yeah, because he invited him in the first time, and
Yeah.
then they were like, "Oh, we have been invited in for the night."
I mean, to be fair, he was the chauffeur.
Okay, but
It was a
here's
chauffeur.
here's the argument though is that like with vampire lore, it's like houses. It's like a place where somebody establishes residence.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why they in a lot of movies they live in hotels and stuff.
You're going to say the same thing I'm going to say.
Because even though it's owned by somebody, it doesn't establish residence.
Yes.
But we got everything wrong.
But here's the thing.
Oh.
Okay, so the car is an extension of your house.
But it's not his car.
it's not his car.
And it's not Jay's car. It belongs to the driving service,
Yes.
which is a business, not a residence.
But it doesn't matter if it is your vehicle or not. Even if you're going from your house to a rental, that still falls into the residence.
Yeah,
By
they
state
cleared it
laws.
all up by saying that
Yeah.
we got everything wrong. So
Yeah.
I mean that they
Is
were
it-
like, look, there's going to be some inconsistencies, but
'Cause-
one line will take care of
Because
it.
they did just walk into mansions and buildings and stuff.
Because they've
Maybe-
been invited already.
Yeah.
They're literally like
They'd
in the
already
club.
because they had
Bottle full of
the chit, I guess, to get in, the little deals, the little red things.
little
The
that-
little
ruby
gem.
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
they had those, and so they had previously been given permission to enter. I would think that would be. I mean, if it's like a special club and you have the key, you know.
I just don't. I don't know. Maybe they only have to be invited into vehicles.
Again, like
that
I
would
said,
be
we
a
got it all
crazy
wrong.
spin on
Like,
this fucking movie.
Well, there's no fucking lore to this other than that they can't go into this neighborhood because Jay and his family and his friends will kill them.
It's Boyle's Heights.
Yeah.
Boyle Heights.
I'm
They
just-
can't go into Boyle Heights, and that's it. That's their whole thing. They're like, oh, you can have the whole rest of of LA, but you can't go into Boyle Heights.
Well,
It's fucking stupid.
and the thing was, I
This
thought
lore
for
was
sure
bad.
they were gonna show us why the fuck nobody went into Boyle Heights when Jay got free. I was like, oh, he's gonna fucking go off, and he's like, no, I'm just gonna tackle one dude with my hands behind my back into the sun. I was like, I mean, that was cool. Kind of would have liked to see why everybody was afraid of him. They said he was a big deal, and Victor's just like, hey, I got you, and now you're my blood bag. Ha ha ha. And he didn't really do shit. And so I was
Yeah.
like, why were y'all afraid of him? At what point, why did y'all have to create this pact? Y'all could have fucked that dude up like he was nothing. You did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that just was there to create story, but there was no basis for any there was nothing that made sense.
There was stuff there to build the story, but there was no story.
It was the appearance of world building is all it was. It was paper thin, and they just layered stuff there to say, look, we built a world, but they didn't build that world any deeper than what we saw.
Yeah.
And so everything was just that.
Yeah, but it's like if Rocco has a third eye and he can see that Benny is a virgin,
God, it was so great.
which was actually pretty funny. How come he couldn't tell that they were there to kill him? I guess he knew though because they had been killing everybody else. And that's when his buddies came in, and then there was the big fight.
Yeah. But the thing is, he can tell if you're a virgin because he can smell it in your blood. He can't smell your desire to kill him in your blood.
Well, and like they say in Dark Shadows, you'd rather eat a sandwich if nobody's fucked it first.
Yeah. I like how you call it Dark Shadows.
What is it? Dark Shadows?
What We Do in the
What
Shadows.
We Do in the Shadows. Dark Shadows was that Johnny Depp movie.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad.
Getting your vampire movies messed up. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shadows. They're both very funny movies.
I never saw Dark Shadows. It was good.
It was good.
Should we just do that instead?
You guys want to talk about Dark Shadows?
We could, yeah. Okay, let's talk about Abuela. Because, first off, she swing a bat.
Abuela swinging a bat.
Why did you go Italian?
I don't know.
Yeah, what I really like about Abuela is she completely throws Benny under the bus. Like
Oh, yes.
he brings
Yes.
Zoe and Blair home, and she's like, "Oh, he's never brought a girl home."
Let alone two.
Yeah,
Again, remember what I said about everything is paper thin and they didn't think about it? In that scene when she's like, do they speak Spanish? And he's like, oh, I don't know. At no point did he think, this is my fucking chance to see if they speak any Spanish, and then maybe I can say something to my abuela to get her the fuck out of there, because these chicks are consuming blood and killing people. He's seen it at this point. Again, he doesn't think. My man is down so bad.
No, he just kind of accepts what's happening.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that he has no control very quickly. But then when he starts having this attitude and confidence and shit, and then he's like, "Oh, I have control now." And then they're like, "Oh, we like that. Good job." It's just so weird.
Well, and what was
Yeah.
great is that whole arc he goes on where he's like, oh, okay, I just not only beat this dude over the head who is wielding crossbows and apparently fighting children of the night. He's like, I'm going to smash a bottle over that dude's head and save these chicks for whatever fucking reason, which should make you feel pretty tough.
Well, he was
Then-
high at that point.
He was high, but
which arguably would mean he would not hit him over the head. He would just
Agreed.
probably watch what's going on. But
Probably.
when at the end of the movie, okay, after all this has gone down, and he at this point should have a lot of fucking confidence because not only did he save his half brother and this chick that he's now fallen in love with, at the end of the movie, when he runs into these two people that have been rude to him twice before, at first, and at this point he's turned, he's a vampire now. Because he saw her neck.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay. I didn't say
no,
he wasn't a
I
vampire.
know. I was just, that thought came to me, and I was like, we talked about it earlier. We weren't sure, but he saw the blood pumping in her neck, so he
Yeah.
definitely was. But at that point, when these two people see him again and they call out to him, he immediately goes back to this shy, cowering guy for a second until Blair pulls up in the car, and then he's like, "Oh, now I'm confident again." And I was like, "So you need
Check out this Maserati,
you need your,
bitch.
well, I mean, shit, who doesn't feel fucking confident when you have a gorgeous woman pulling up to you in Maserati, right? I mean, you have to. But I was like, y'all had a whole arc, and as soon as Blair was gone, he went back to who he was, even though he's now a vampire. I was like, all right, y'all could have done a little bit more with that. I mean, the dude should have just basically been like, nah, fuck off, and got in the car and left. He shouldn't have given them any time of day. They were shitty.
Yeah. Like, for some reason, they tried to give these two characters... Like, the girl, not so much. She was not shitty to Benny at all.
That's true.
Right.
She really wasn't, actually.
She wasn't. It was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess I'm assuming. I'm putting the label on them. It never really is explained if it's...
If not, he's at least
they
he's
could-
at least
they-
spending the night.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. He's
from,
staying
from the way,
night.
from the way she was looking at Benny, they could be ethically non-monogamous.
It could be, yeah.
That's also true. Yeah, it's fair. I don't know if he has co-signed on that because he definitely did not want Benny with his girl. But
No. But yeah, I mean, it's just they tried to give them like this redeeming moment at the end of the movie, and it's like, why? We don't care about those two.
and honestly, like if Benny had ripped that dude's throat out, I'd have been fine with it because like that guy really was a fucking dick.
But he invites them into the car at the end
Yeah,
of the movie.
I think they do.
Yeah,
that's-
you know what? You're right. That is true. I did forget about that part.
Yeah, you forgot about Dre.
Was that his name?
No,
No.
Oh,
it's
I was like, I didn't know we ever got his name. Cool.
it's cool. It's cool. It's a song.
I have a question for you guys.
What?
So we get this cool moment where Benny's standing in Victor's, I guess, entryway, whatever it may be. And he starts the car, and the car comes barreling through the front window and, lets the sunlight in, and Zoe dies. How does the car get into gear?
He did. Okay, when
So he put a rock on the gas pedal.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm aware.
How did it get into gear?
Ghosts.
Was there a werewolf?
Look,
Was
forget
it
everything.
A werewolf?
Forget everything. It was Lisa.
I am Lisa.
It was Lisa. No, I mean they
Yeah, it
told us.
doesn't work.
They told us at the beginning of the movie. Forget everything you know about us, about vampires and this whole world and stuff. I mean, this is an alternate dimension. Maybe when you like turn a car on, it just immediately is in gear. They don't have
Nope.
park.
sun was up, ghosts only operate at night, and don't fucking tell me that they got that with the lore wrong. Okay,
No, it's ghosts.
no, they only operate at night, and it was daytime.
But if we got everything wrong about vampires, maybe we got everything wrong about ghosts, and they
Or-
don't do
or-
just at night, and
or-
they only do mostly during the day.
Or fuck off.
Or fuck off. Okay.
All right.
Ghosts only operate at night. Damn it,
Good argument, Nick.
they're not creepy during the day.
Have you seen a ghost during the day?
No, because they're not scary.
But they are.
Have you seen a ghost during the day? We
I have
can
no
stop
idea.
this.
No, I want to continue this conversation. No, I have not seen a ghost during the day.
Yeah, I got another ridiculous moment here. So, I think it was the second stop. Benny decides to go through the girls' purses,
Not
It's
even
just
a
the
purse.
one
It was just
bag.
like a big bag.
It was like a doctor bag.
I mean, it was still her purse. It was just a big ass
Yeah.
purse.
But mostly,
it was a
mostly he
big-
decided to go through the bag just
Correct.
because he saw Jay's name pop up on her phone,
Which
through a
is
text
fair.
message.
I will say that's fair because he's like, I mean, but then again, he also said, like, I'm Jay, I'm the driver, so I don't know. But my favorite part about that is after he finds blood on the money and then he sees a cop just randomly walking around, rather than saying, hey, I'm in a vehicle with bloody money and there's a cop there who actually, in this situation, could probably fucking help because why is there blood on this money? He's like, nah, fuck that. I got to get out of the vehicle and sneak inside so he doesn't see me to continue the story, obviously. But I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, like, my guy, if you just stayed in the car and you hadn't fucked with that money, or even if you just, wiped some of the blood off, if he looks in the vehicle and you're like, look, I'm driving these two chicks around for work, all right? I didn't bring this money. First of all, he's going to assume it's probably not your fucking money. If these girls are around, you got it in the bag. Why are you driving them around if you have all that money? I the whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, these people were really making poor choices, and they're only doing it so they can move the story forward, and I get that. He still could have gone inside for another reason.
He also gives that bag of bloody money to his brother at the end.
He does.
He does.
Also, let's talk about the bloody money for real quick because he flips it and some blood splashes on his face and it supposedly is on his shirt somewhere.
And we never
see it on
see
his
it.
shirt. And it's mentioned multiple times.
It
Hey,
is.
there's something on your shirt. It's like Shaun of the Dead. You got red on you. But like there was never any red on him.
So he got blood on his cheek at first, and I almost think that they changed that in the script and then just didn't refilm it because he very clearly got blood on his cheek. He even touched it a little bit. And
Yeah, but he looked at his collar too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to give him something here.
I don't
I mean,
know.
they fucked it up because there was no blood on that fucking shirt.
There was
man.
no blood on the shirt, and when it was brought up, each time it was brought up, somebody pointed at a different place on his shirt because, like the receptionist in the hotel acted like it was on his chest, and he had already looked at his collar, and then I think one of the girls said something about blood being on his collar.
I don't know. Maybe if we got everything wrong about vampires, maybe we got everything wrong about blood.
We don't know about blood physics.
Yeah, it's fair.
Disappearing blood.
You can only see under a UV light. Like, come.
We got to talk about Bjorn Ironside, man. We got to talk about Bjorn Ironside. What was his name in this movie? Rocco. Man, just from the minute he walks on scene, he's just this like. To be honest,
he chewed up the scenery.
he really did. And it was pretty funny when we realized I think it was Nathan realized
Yeah, I
who he
looked him
was that I understood it. I was like, oh my god, because he's probably a better actor than everybody else in this movie, and he's only in it for what
Megan
7-8
Fox
minutes.
is in this movie.
God, she is a
Debbie
gem.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
of
y'all were-
Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah, y'all were talking about her. I didn't know her from anything. So
I know it's because we're parents and we have
Because
watched
we
this,
have kids.
this fucking Jesse show.
I thought you said she was in Supernatural.
No, she was
No.
in Jesse. No, we were talking about.
we were talking about supernatural happenings in
A spin-off of
spin-off
Jesse.
of
Oh,
Jesse
okay.
called Bunked, and they go to a
Camp
Camp
Kikiwaki.
Kikiwaka.
Yeah, Kikiwaka.
It's okay. So originally it was 4 adopted siblings
Yes.
that turns into 3, sadly.
Oh no. Yeah, it did turn into 3.
Turned into 3.
Rip Cameron boys.
Yeah.
So remember when
Nick has no idea.
He has
and
no
I love
idea.
it. And
Yeah.
I really want this movie to be a part of the fucking
Like
Jesse
Disneyverse.
Disneyverse. Yes. I want, because at one point we do get Blair talking about a past life, and I looked over to Nathan and I was like, oh, she was a nanny in New York.
that was when they were on the couch at Bjorn's place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was arguably one of my favorite parts of the movie. Is my man Benny finally making out with an undead chick, right? Like
Yeah.
he's been down,
That's the dream.
sticking with these girls all night, just fucking hoping
Well, he
hoping.
does get kissed at the club at the second stop.
true.
Or third
Yeah,
stop.
but she even was like, "Oh, I just did that to make you look cool." Huh? I mean,
Yeah.
he knew that wasn't true, but she played it off. But this time, like, I'm talking, she was straddling him, full on making out. And then I love it because one of Bjorn's men gets thrown through the window and goes into the pool, and this chick Blair's like, wait, no, this one was Zoe. No, this was
Yes,
Blair.
Blair.
She goes, "Hold the fuck up," and gets up to go kick some ass. Like, she's just sitting there making out and just without missing a beat. It's like, "My friend needs me. I'll be back."
Well,
and just
yeah.
ride or die, dude. That was awesome.
Well, it was great because she goes inside, and then you see her like grab a guy and throw his head down on like a counter or something, and then she just starts punching it, and then they start spraying blood up on the wall behind her,
It was fantastic.
which was that was great.
yeah, like
That was a good time.
there were some moments in this movie that were very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some moments.
I mean,
that
there
were
was a
fun.
lot of money spent on this movie, so
Yeah.
I would hope that they did it correct. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my one good thing was the cinematography, and I think it was great in like the whole movie.
They-
A couple CGI things that were kind of weird, but
Yeah,
for the most part,
the CGI,
it was all great.
it wasn't awful, but it definitely wasn't great.
Yeah.
I did really like. I caught when Zoe is burning up at the end in the sun. You see her last breath exhale out as ash. I don't know if y'all noticed
I
that.
didn't see that.
It's actually really fucking cool because I've never seen that in a vampire movie before, and I was like, damn, that was actually really clever. As she goes, I mean, just ash
Yeah.
comes out, and I was like, wow. Also, if you don't have great CGI, maybe don't play it in slow motion. They should have probably just let her die at normal speed, but
I mean,
Yeah.
her death really gave me some PTSD on Midnight Mass.
which was a fantastic series.
Yes.
Rest in peace, whatever his fucking name, Matt Saracen.
Going back to the final scene where Jay tackles Victor with no hands. Like, okay, first off, Jay should be in the NFL, right?
Good point.
WWE.
Oh,
he
that'd be
could take
fun,
out
too.
Goldberg.
The spear.
I'm going to be honest. I would not be surprised if you looked that guy up and saw that he had done some professional wrestling at one point.
He's Eddie Guerrero's little brother, picking up the mantle.
There you go. That's a backstory for you. All right. So the thing that I like about this is, so Blair is obviously like turning against Victor and Zoe, who has been like her family through the whole thing, right? And she picks up the knife and is like stabbing Victor in the back, like repeatedly.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it. She's stabbing him in the back.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was pretty heavy-handed in this movie
Yeah.
that they could have done a little bit lighter, and I think would have been, better. Like Blair has the whole thing about like, oh, you think that's the way the world works? Like, no, we run it. And I was like, look, I get it. Rich people, I get it. Rich white people specifically, like, I get it.
Yeah.
You could have been a little lighter with it. You didn't have to. Like, we got it.
Speaking of rich white people, do you think
Yes.
that the parents in New York were vampires? And
You never
that's
saw them during
how-
the day.
You didn't. You never really saw them at all.
I wanted to say that you've seen that
You
they only
get
show
the
up
mom.
in like
You
two
get
episodes.
the mom in one of the bunked episodes, and it is during the day.
Well, it's a supernatural place, so maybe
It
she's
is.
protected.
Maybe so. Very interesting.
Or
yeah, I'm gonna have a
it's
fun
a
night just thinking about this shit.
Truman Show situation. There was not a real son in that.
That's fair. But I do like the thought that the parents from Hayden, from Jesse, whenever they were in New York, they were vampires because they were rich white people.
Yes.
And they turned her into a vampire, and she decided to leave and go to LA, and that's how she found her new life and decided, instead, my name is not Jesse anymore, it's now Blair. I'm changing my whole story.
Well, to be fair, she did say that she met Zoe in the 70s at parties she used to throw, so unless she lied to us, I know.
She could be lying.
Yeah, could
She
be.
was feeding on the kids when they were asleep.
Okay, question. So
See.
whenever Night Legion shows up at the club and Blair Benny and Zoe go upstairs, and they're supposed to meet one of the other bosses, and that other guy was there from Night Legion, and his friends come in and like rush two vampires with crossbows,
And they run
and
right up to him.
They're right up next to him. Like how do they not just automatically use their super speed and just kill all of them all at once?
That is a good point. They did use their super speed only once when when Benny tries to make a run for it, and Zoe's like, and then she's in front of him like, nah, you can't do that. Would it come in handy then? Literally any time somebody was shooting a crossbow at them,
Yeah.
I don't. And so I'm so glad you brought this up. This is the moment that I was trying to remember and I just couldn't grab it. Originally watching the movie, I was very confused why a bunch of men with crossbows would close in on their target until we saw them shoot. And then I fully understood it. I said, oh, they have to get this close because they can't fucking hit their target.
At
That made
any
me
range.
happy. Yeah. I was like, oh man, these guys, because I specifically said it to you guys. And then later when they really start shooting, I was like, oh, these guys make stormtroopers look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they don't do that.
Maybe they don't. Maybe
No,
they
they
do.
do.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't.
I don't know. It was just one of those weird things that is like, okay, if I am about to approach a known vampire, knowing that they are supposed to have extreme power and extreme speed, I'm probably not going to step up right on top of them if they know that I am a threat.
Yeah. And honestly, they could have just done it where they did stay back and then let us show. I mean, we saw the girls being badasses a bunch,
Yeah.
but show us some supernatural shit. Show us just a quick. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard these days to just put all those guys up, say, all right, you good. Then do a quick cut, bam. All of a sudden, now they're on the ground. The girls are standing there. Maybe one of them's holding their head. You know what I mean? Like this stuff has been done for a long time.
Yeah.
Like there was no
That would have
reason.
been a super easy thing to do.
Yep.
Do you think it works like video games where you have a certain amount of mana that you have to,
No,
to
they had to- and they
store up
they needed
before you
more
can be a
blood.
super speed?
That's exactly it. That's their mana.
Their mana is
Every
blood.
time they use their magical powers, which is why she only used the quick dash once. She's also Pikachu.
But why would she use it on
Oh,
the time whenever
she
Benny
pushed-
was getting out of the car?
Look, I mean, she made a lot of bad choices clearly when to use them, but she thought she was also going to be feeding all night, so she was like, "Don't worry, we're gonna drink some fucking mana potions in this shit. We straight."
Yeah. Well, can we talk about real fast too? Because I know we're getting toward the end here, but also in the club when Jay stabs that vampire and everyone in the club kind of goes. And then they very slowly back away. Like there's no panic, no urgency.
Yeah.
Like nobody's like, that dude's got a fucking knife and these people have fucking guns. Let's get the fuck away from them.
Yeah.
No, they just slowly move away like, ooh.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean, we don't know where they grew up in LA. LA's got some pretty shitty areas, so maybe they're like, "Nah, dude, like we see people get stabbed a lot."
yeah, but nobody wants to be stabbed.
No, I mean that's true, but I don't know, man. I'm trying to give the creators of this movie some
They're
credit
also
here.
watching this guy like turn to ash on the floor.
Yeah, that's really where I would draw the line.
Because like if they were all like vampires, they'd be like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, I gotta
and
kill
if
this
they
dude.
were all like humans, or they were like some of them were humans, they'd be like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, because
But
I'm
like
with you.
no one panics.
Even if they had seen people get stabbed before and had like gotten over the fear of that, which I don't care who you are. If you see somebody unexpectedly get stabbed, it's probably going to shock you a bit.
Yeah.
But you're right. As soon as the dude bursts into flames, I don't give a fuck how hard you are. You're going to be like, yeah, that's wrong. That's not right.
I would have been like, "What sorcery is this?" And then gotten the fuck.
I wouldn't
out
have
of
said
there.
shit, and I probably would have tried to turn and run, but been too scared and then died. I would have
would've-
turned and just frozen in place.
You would have turned and you would have backed away slowly like everyone.
I would have
else
just. I would have been just like them. I would have been like, I don't know what to do in this situation, so I'm just going to do what everyone else is, and then I would have died with them. At least I didn't die alone.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up and get into ratings. Nick, what do you rate this movie?
I am going to give it a skull. I do think that it had its issues for sure. Didn't do the best at world building, but it was fun. It did drag a bit at parts. Reminded me a lot of Collateral, which I liked. But at the end of the day, like I feel like the main story really was sort of between Benny and Blair. And honestly, I felt like they actually had legitimate chemistry between the actor and actress, and so I actually enjoyed that bit. It wasn't the best done, romantic story, but it was interesting. That was probably one of the more believable parts of the movie to me. I actually bought that they were into each other. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I bought it. So,
Like especially during the couch scene.
yeah, especially during that scene.
Yeah.
Good for my man. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a skull. It's fun. It is fun. It is like basically a love letter to vampires. If you don't enjoy vampire movies and their tropes,
No, what it is it's like a children's Valentine card to vampires.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was. If you like vampire movies, I think you'd enjoy it. So yeah, I'm giving it a skull. It's worth watching.
Okay. Well, I try to base this off of like if I would watch it again, either by myself or with someone else, and I don't think I would. Like I kind of got what I needed out of it. There's not a lot of rewatchability to it. I mean, like, I don't know. I hate to say it because it was fun, but like I'm not going to give it a skull.
Well, before I mean, think about it. Are you glad you watched it? Because I'm with you. I'm not going to watch it again ever, but I am glad that I saw it once.
I don't.
Which is why I'm giving it a skull.
I think my life would have been the same before or after. If if I had seen it or I hadn't seen it, my life would have been completely the same. It's
well,
not.
Now you know where Ramsey Bolton is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not his
That's
name.
not Ramsey
Shit.
Bolton. That
What was his name in
Theon Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like it had a good cast. That was going to be like my one good thing, and then I forgot and went with the opening sequence because I thought about it when I was in the other room. I was like, oh yeah, the cast was really good. And I mean, it was fine.
The cast was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
would
mean,
agree
like
with you on that.
the cast was good. The movie was fine. I'm not gonna. If somebody was like, "Hey, should I watch this?" I'd be like, "Yeah," but like. It's not going to be the first movie that we have watched on the show that would come to mind for me to like recommend to someone.
Yeah.
Because that goes to Benny Loves You.
Yeah.
All right, Jared.
Or Terrifier. Terrifier's a really
Terrifier is fucking great. All right, Jared, what are you going to give it?
Man, like I completely see both of your points on this, and I have really been struggling trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I think that I'm going to give it a skull with some asterisks beside it. Like, know that it's going to be too long.
Yeah.
It's like you're
know
going to give it.
that you're going to get a lot of driving through LA. Know
Yeah.
that you're going to not get a whole lot of explanation as to what the rules are in this movie. But I am going to say watch it because it has a good cast. The story could have been a whole lot better, but it was still pretty good. It was, interesting. I mean, the whole story is what got us to watch it in the first place. Like watching the trailer and knowing what, the plot points were supposed to be really is what sold us on watching this movie in the first place. Cinematography, again, great. There's a lot of stuff that is worth watching in this movie, and I think that's why I'm going to give it a skull and recommend it. But like I said, with an asterisk, because there are some things that you're going to have to just let slide to kind of enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to join in the conversation, if you want to tell us if you like it or you didn't like it, or like if I don't know, you're kind of like me and Jared, where we're kind of somewhere in between. Like you can find us on most social media at Spoop Squad, or on Facebook at The Squad Podcast, or on TikTok at Spoop Squad Podcast, or you could email us at spoopsquad@gmail.com. And this is the part where normally I like have a quote from the movie to like say to be funny, but there wasn't anything other than like song lyrics, and I forgot to write down like the one. Wait, there was a song lyric about jumping into a woman's lady parts like a lifeguard.
It's ridiculous. That's what you're gonna
Oh
go
yeah,
with?
it was something like I dive right in the pussy. I'm a lifeguard. Yeah.
Yeah, like head first. Yeah,
Yes,
dive
that's
in
right.
with head first.
Yeah, he did say at first. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it with that. Like that's what I got. Like Benny loves you.